Okay, another question out of the chat. You talk to Netzpolitik.org, you won't talk much about you and Wikileaks anymore. It's past. How do you explain that you write a book called Inside Wikileaks?
Yeah, that's a valid question too. So, no, what? Okay, so that's a very personal thing now. When for the last 2.5 or 3 years I've been working with that project, I think I have, especially in this community here and in Germany, more than in any other place in the world, built up a reputation for that project. So when it was clear that we had to part roads, and I was not so sure about some of the principles in the Wikileaks project anymore, I felt I had to at least publicly say that I'm not so sure about what's going on anymore, and that's why I did this interview in Der Spiegel, and just wanted to sort of make it a bit more relative how much credibility people assume, because I had delivered that to the public for 2.5 years as a speaker of that project. So I did this interview. I talked to Markus at Netzpolitik just to make sure that people understand the basis of my criticism and that they start thinking about the idea or the concept and the implementation of WikiLeaks a bit more critically. And then lots of things started to happen. I realized that there are, first of all, lots of other books that are coming out, and I have no idea how good the basis for research in these books is. So I don't really know how they will spin a story that I think is too important to be misunderstood. There were lots of rumors that were spread by me. I mean, even Süddeutsche Zeitung here had in the magazine an article that quoted some weird allegation saying that it couldn't be ruled out that the people leaving WikiLeaks would be paid by the FBI for criticizing the organization. And all sorts of stuff like this, which was just trying to debase what we had been saying or trying to convene. So Julian was saying that I was just an ex-employee leaving the organization, and that I didn't have to be taken too seriously just because people that leave organizations always are critical of their former employers. And I've never been employed by this organization. We were all people working on this collaboratively. And it's just that I felt that the whole public perception was at risk of misunderstanding these whole issues. And then there are a lot of things that happened in the past 3 years that I think people should know about to understand the story correctly. So we always said, and that was one of the basic fundamentals of WikiLeaks, is that we think the historic record and its accuracy is important. And I still stand by that definition. And part of what I have to say, I guess, is part of this historic record. And all the speculation that is going on is just speculated because there's a void of information and no one really knows what had happened and how this all works. We're back here with matters of intransparency and no one really understanding what's going on. And that's why I felt that it is important to tell that story, not just in 5 sentences that I get when some reporter asks me, but tell it in a fair way so that it is fair enough to shed light on all of that story and not just particular angles, whether this is good sides or critical sides. So that's why I decided to do that, if that answers the question.